We're in the first match of the final week of the 32nd Gun Arena season, and I'm playing against Rockefeller 81. And it's a top 25 battle, so this week will be kind of difficult, and I expect to not do so well, so bear with me. Anyway, starting this match with a counter that I also shown in the last video, which is Darth Vader with Echo and a pre-taunt against JMK. In this case, my Echo was even faster than Cat, but didn't really make a difference. Just dispel all the buffs, especially tenacity up is important to be dispelled. And then do your rounds, loop or cycle between Merciless Massacre, Force Crush, basic on JMK, and Force Crush again. Do it as often as possible, and then at some point you just have so many dots stacked that you can take out the team. Starting with GK, I guess, is the best option first, then Cat, and then JMK usually is the last one to stand, and then you can take him out as well. But yeah, we will see that in a bit. It just takes a while to get there. Of course, the good thing here with this fight is, other than with Ray, you don't have to be careful with damage immunity, so he can essentially stack as many dots as you want just to be super safe in terms of how much damage it will do. And the other thing that you should definitely do is getting rid of the bonus protection, and this takes a while. Especially on GK, you can see it's still left, so it's still not done, and because now we just do non-crit damage as long as it's there, it just takes a while to get through this, and that's why stacking up in the 70s, 80s is kind of a good thing. And also there's crit immunity, so as you can see, there are many things to consider. That's why you shouldn't rush this fight. But once you're there, it's pretty much a very simple, easy thing. Just kill them, so to say. Yeah, I think I'm almost in the hundreds, and it's kind of crazy, but just to be sure, right? And also you can contemplate about your life, then killed GK here, then killed Cat with the second Culling Blade, and then Dots kill GK, and then yeah, you get again Merciless Massacre, and then you kill JMK. So not the best balance, of course, but it is a one-shot of meta, and that's what counts, at least for me in this case. Then I wanted to see if I can win against this comp of Lord Vader with Maul and Seven Sister. But of course, she lands a ability block or like removes Terminator and has lands the ace on Bam, so he cannot jump in between and save Fennec, and that's why, yeah, Fennec was gone, and I could have opted to use birds, but for that I had the wrong Datacron, because he could be killed while he's in poop stance, and so I opted out. So have to clean this up, unfortunately. Then these are all Southwall battles, by the way. There were 4 GLs and Malgus. So this is another GL, and so I'm using my, yeah, little bit funny counter in a way, because you wouldn't expect these 3 to go together, but they kind of work kind of well, especially versus JML, where the fear kind of helps. In this case, I lost Mace already, which was a bit unfortunate, but it can happen. Then again, as long as Starkiller is there and Darth Revan, it's okay, because yes, Mace is a tank and helps be a punching bag, but usually they go for the others as well. So it's not like he just absorbs all the hits. And JMK anyway can ignore taunt, so he can call to assist on anyone he wants. Was taking out Shark then, which was quite nice. Got my ult, killed Basti, and so I was sure that I can one-shot this, even though it's not good banners. But yeah, it was okay. He healed himself up, JML in this case, but after the ult, Starkiller just does makes too much damage. So one shot. Then I went in and tried to clean this up. A little bit unfortunate, as I said, because I forgot about Daze. And I didn't really forgot about it, but I was hoping that Daze maybe lands on Fennec, and so I can use Bam to dispel it and have even one more debuff to dispel to trigger the contract. But yeah, so have to use Kylo Ren, which I used on offense here. I had or have Jabba this week because I unlocked him the first day he was available, even though it was bugged and you couldn't farm tickets. But once it was possible, I did that and I got him up at Relic 8 and all the blah blah blah, all the good stuff. And so I went in this week with 7 GLs and I placed 5 on them on defense, at least in this match. In later matches this season, this final week, it changed a little bit because if my opponent has Jabba, I expected to see on defense, and for that you want to have an option that one-shotted, which usually is either this guy here or essentially both of these guys. You can solo him with Lord Vader, at least with the current Datacron meta, so to say. Yeah. But this is like looking into future now, the battle at hand. As you can see, I sped it up because no one wants to like look at these two guys having like a slappy fight for 4 minutes or 5 minutes. And yeah, it's not even close at this point. Kylo Ren is still like aged quite well, Rey as well. I think those two aged really well, better than JML and C, I would say. Especially C to me is like, he's a GL, but also not. Anyway, this is a different topic. There was a Rey, and I was not sure how to tackle it because I only had 2 GLs and I didn't want to use a GL here, so I opted for a Jedi counter with the JKL Datacron, rest in peace. And I have, as you can see, Riposte on level 6, and I had the bonus turn for JKL on the 9, so I could take out Rey before JTR, that is, before she can make any stupid stuff, then keep Rey, the GL Rey, on the ability block, trying to take out or avoid that she gets the Beskar stacks, getting damage immunity triggered here, which is great. Xavier's triggered, pass the turn, big hit, bonus turn, ability block, and then big hit again, and she's almost gone, again bonus turn, and then Rey is out of the picture, which was great. So I think it was the first time I fought this in Freeze, quite late to be honest, very late, one of the last chances to even do that. But it's a really good counter, I really enjoyed playing it, and was fun. But of course, Rey didn't have a stupid overpowered Datacron anymore, so that was part of it as well. Speaking of Rey versus Malgus, I used Rey. I was first thinking about a 2-shot of Malgus, using the Jedi to take out the sides and then take something else in for Malgus, but I wanted not to risk it to totally fail because potentially I wouldn't have anything left to clean up Malgus. I mean, a solo Malgus, yes, but one of a full team, if I fail horribly, would have been a mess. And there were also quite some other strong teams on the North Wall that I had to take care of, so that's why I opted to go this route. And this time I took in Hoda for Master's Training, so extra offense, but also I applied a Datacron which I had laying around, which had like 50% extra offense, which I also applied, so I thought this should be enough to not lose the fight as I did the last round against Pimpo. His Malgus just didn't want to die, which potentially also comes down to the modding he had on Malgus, which is a bit different from what I've seen from other Malguses. Malguses, is this right? Plural? Is there a plural for a person? Anyway, I took him out for 56. So then this, I believe is a Northwall battle, or is it Backwall already? I forgot, but doesn't really matter. It's just like a classic Hux combo, first order Hux combo, and for that you just use Geos. So kind of a nostalgic fight, you know, so because this was stuff you would also see in the past, in the former pre-Datacron era of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, where you just like would have fun with Geos. You still can have fun with them. I wonder if they at some point also get a Seppi Datacron and one for Spy, where he just like nukes GLs or something, which he already does, you know, right? But yeah. Talking about Nuke, if this was Kylo, I would have farmed him until I get full healthful protection. And this at this rate, there's no point in getting back to that, and so I just nuked him here, the Stormtrooper, and then got 54 banners. Then there was a Redis with the damage immunity Datacron, which is annoying, but not really a challenge for CLS. You can just dispel it by doing this. Also getting blind on these people, and yeah, and then can with CLS when he's around, or with 2PO when he has his AoE to take out Raiders, and then just take out Aiden, not Aiden, sorry, what's her name, Jin, before she can revive him, and then it's pretty much game over. Also, this comes to an end, or has come to an end by now, because the CLS Datacron is also not available anymore. Northwall battle, gas. I use dash with Queel and IG, which kind of is a nice comp. There's a tank, so there is something to go for them that they can let all the aggressions out against, and then dash can take them out one by one. And especially the stun capabilities and tenacity down are very nice that are available on this team as well. Unfortunately getting dazed here, but it's not that much of a problem because yeah, IG just tanks the hits. Then getting a chance to daze Sky Guy, stun him again. Oh no, I basic him to death, so but he could have been stunned as well. So 53. Then an interesting comp. Yeah, I think I've seen it in the past a few times, but I found it was interesting. Because it kind of makes some of the social contract counters difficult, which you can see I still tried it, but my goal was not to one-shot this. I was actually planning a two-shot for this, taking out the bros, which already happened, and now hoping to get some good RNG and land tenacity down, landing stuns, and then basically whittle him down. But I was aware that this is super hard, and Malak is still a menace, and so I was hoping for good RNG, like all some luck, and to take him out. If not, I can still clean this up. So Malak is as I said, a menace, but it's not the end of the world. But in this case, this team is, yeah, maybe too weak for Malak, depending on, of course, how you cycle tenacity down, stuns, and big hits. So it was close, as you've seen, but not enough. And then there was another Northwall battle with this team. I've seen it before, or at least I've seen it quite often also on different channels, I believe, that I'm watching, which is Thrawn with Shore, which is essentially a good defensive team anyway. It was one of the, it's kind of a variant of Viridian in a way, but instead of Stormtrooper you have Shore, and instead of Gideon you have the Datacron version of TIE Fighter Pilot, and for that I essentially, I haven't figured out a sheep counter, so I just use GG, because he can usually take out the team, or at least make it difficult. And as long as I can take out TIE Fighter Pilot, I'm okay with that. And there was hope I could also take out Thrawn, and then Shore would have followed, but unfortunately they also had a cooldown reduction, and with some debuffs on the way they could cycle healing, and also then just a fracture. So I had to take this out. Used a quite an expensive counter. Looking back now, it's kind of weird that I did this team, but I didn't want to risk anything, and so I used Bad Batch. Of course, not the Echo version, but the Wrecker version, which still like is good because it gives me defense up, so getting 2 damage, and so that was nice, as you've seen here. Took out Thrawn. And then Shore is just a question of time before he will follow. Yeah. Usually you're so tied to Echo, but even those 3 without Echo are quite good. So Bad Batch is still like one of my favorite teams with what you can do with them. Yeah. Lost 1 banner, I believe, but that was okay. And then there was a very interesting team, Darth Revan with the Omicron Savage Press. And I had 2 options in mind how I want to tackle this. I thought this should be trooper food, but then I thought, maybe not, and so maybe I should try Maul to see what happens. But the TM gain that this guy gets, because he's hit, was so strong that he outpaced me, and so they got to go. got shock, and it just takes a little bit of time, and also stagger and all the good stuff. And so Maul was close to take his 5 turns, but then eventually not. So I opted out, and then I thought, okay, this actually should be Trooper food. Dark Trooper doesn't do critical hits, so that should be it. So 1 hit, 2 hit, and then there's the 3rd, and so Savage is down. Not a big problem, and so it's just like I'd almost say it's a simpler Trooper fight than when Malik is around. But yeah, maybe I also got just lucky. But still, it was great to see that this works. It was my first impulse, but then I chickened out, so should have done it. Talking about chickening out, no, this is the wrong transition in my mind. But anyway, cleaning up Malak. Usually I would take in crew, OG Kylo and Fox, which is not a cheap counter actually when you consider crew as part of it, because crew is a great pre-taunt, great tank anyway. But yeah, I guess it's cheaper than Bosk and Mando, so didn't have to worry about, so I had to use this option, but it was great. This is a South Wall battle. I think it's one of the rare instances where I can use Iden against Mon Mothma. Usually I use her against CLS, but it wasn't on defense this time. So yeah, trying to keep this short and take out Kara before she can do anything wild. Of course she comes back, so stuns my people, which sounds weird. But in general, like, yeah, this is a natural predator to this team because all the assists just passively heal your team. And they also usually avoid going for those they should go for, and so that's why it's simple to take them out. And at some point, it's just too much damage on my team. Of course, I would have preferred Death Trooper. He was on defense with Krennic and TIE Fighter Pilot. That was my defensive version of the TIE Fighter team. I'm not sure if it was good, but I have the Krennic Omicron, which I applied in a weak moment, so I thought, why not? Another South Wall battle. For that, I used, as you can see, Traya, which is quite expensive, but Krennic Visitor, especially with the Empire Datacrons that reset cooldowns or like reduce cooldowns based on debuff standard, is quite difficult to handle on this team because they just apply so many debuffs. So they're constantly resetting their cooldowns, and you always have to be aware of that depending on what counter you want to take. And Traya is, I think, one of the safest options, but as I said, expensive. You can take out better teams with Traya. It comes down to what is on defense, of course, and what you have for offense. But maybe general bit to Traya, she kind of came in clutch several times for me this season. Against Pimpo, the Night Sisters, it was very important that I had Traya on offense. So in the past I used to place her on defense, but now she's more of an offensive stable for me. And yeah, just as a side note. Then there was a Datacron applied level 9 from Talzin on this team, and I wasn't sure what to think of it, and so I tried to just Gideon Troopers. Got close to take out Talzin, but even then, of course, when they do basics, they come back, then they kill people, and then they shoot back, and it's annoying. So in Freeze, Night Sisters, there are actually many counters to Night Sisters, but the Datacron makes it more difficult, and if you don't have the right counters left, it's very hard to take them out. So, stepped out of that battle, tried something else, but as you can see, doesn't really go that well as well. Those two, or like generally those Shark Troopers, don't have enough damage output, and also not enough healing, even though they have healing and all good stuff, but it's not enough to take these out. So now I was irgendwie like, not irgendwie, English-German. Preloaded because I opted out too late, because the opt-out isn't like on the spot, it's just like after the next turn it was taken, and it was a kill turn, so that was bad. So then I fought Padma, she has healing, there are some dispels, big hits, there is stun from Ayla, but then Ayla suddenly decides to die, so partner as well. She was sad, I guess. And so eventually I opted for this battle with Sam Omicron, which wasn't really, yeah, I think it came, of course, it did its part, but the main thing here is this guy and the rocket he has, and just like that prevents revives as well. So that was pretty much the cleanup for this fight. And then another droid versus Wampa fight here, and I don't know, I think I will eventually stop using Wampa for that team, because little spoiler, it again will time out, and I'm short on it as well. And it's not even like a relic 8, I believe, sorry, it's just a relic 7, but a little bit of good modding helps to prevent Wampa from going through, or maybe I'm playing it wrong, maybe someone of you has a better idea what to do there with Wampa. Yeah, it's wild when you look at these battles that are sped up, even 4x feels super slow suddenly. I'm just showing how I take out the other droids, and then I will I just cut off the rest of the fight and go back to the end until it time's out. Sorry for the spoiler, but it's just so stupid. It's just, yeah, wild times. Yeah, but still, Wampa is still good. Nothing against Wampa, but just like, I think it's a Zordy thing. It's just so stupid that they make these characters that is worse than Nest, I believe. Maybe not, but you know, just nothing happens. Yeah, anyway, so I have to clean up this solo Zordy, which I do with Dooku, Nest, and Asajj, mainly because I want to strip the buffs. And once they are gone, it's quite simple to take her out. Getting buff immunity, which also helps. Stun, daze, ability block, all the good stuff. It's a good cleanup. And Dooku in general is a good character. He came in clutch several times this season for me, so and always as a cleanup. So it's good to have him. Good guy, so to say. Of course, she revives, so you have to do this twice, and yeah. Annoying. It's just annoying. But nothing to be afraid of, yeah. Nest does the job, and then not the best banners, but it was done. And then we're going into fleets. Fleets was quite surprising, because it wasn't stacked with meta fleets. It was mainly the usual, what you would have seen like before all those hyper meta fleets came out. So a rare instance of Negotiator against Netherlands, and I haven't played it in a while, so it's always interesting to see how bad I play it, I guess, for you at least. And what also interesting is like since they fixed the bug for the assist, if it has an impact on the counter or not. So far I didn't really recognize that there is an impact, but yeah, maybe I'm also not paying that much attention, and all you people with the eye for the fine details in fleet battles know that what's going on. Only thing I was knowing is that it's annoying that this guy is in the stealth, to he will die anyway to the bombs. So I didn't really care. So 68, then using Executor against Negotiator. Could have taken in Finalizer again, like I did earlier this season, but yeah, I didn't feel like it. Sometimes you have to feel like things and like doing things, and so I opted not. So going this route, taking out Anakin, taking out the Y-Wing already, and then Flo comes in, tries to make the battle longer, which of course he does, because he heals, removes the buffs, the debuffs, sorry, but eventually not enough to make a difference, I guess. And yeah, you don't even need a reinforcement. Just got my ult there, take out Negotiator, and then again this weird thing happened where just the screen is stuck and my brain suddenly feels like, what's going on? Like I'm getting like getting a stroke or something. Because my brain is so used to this movement is continuously and it doesn't go back, and suddenly I'm somewhere else. And then I played against this Empire fleet with... usually I avoid doing that because Empire now is actually hard counter to Rebels. And even though Profundity is... Peter is the new meta fleet, I don't feel like it because the anti-rebel synergies from the Empire teams are still very good. And so you wanna take this fleet seriously, I guess. It's Tarkin. I think Tron would have been even worse, I'd say, but TIE Interceptor is annoying, so already taking out my tank, so I have to see what's next. And what also is bad here is, besides getting burned and besides losing my ships left and right, what also can happen is that you don't get good assist RNG, which always is the downfall of Rebel fleets. If the assist RNG is not working, you're basically screwed. Speaking of screwed, so far my opponent isn't screwed, even gets in the next ship, and which is annoying because it has days, it has bombs. I'm losing again a tank, getting my ult out, so that was at least something. So I was quite sure that I at least can clean this up. Which is quite sad to say, right? But those two ships seem to carry it home, getting a little bit of help from Ghost, taking out the bomber here just because I don't want to get more days and more bombs. And then, yeah, pretty much then at this point it's over. Yeah, so that was the end of this fleet battle and also the end of the match. And yeah, I won by quite a margin, but my opponent couldn't clear, could only clear my bottom front, as you can see, and then gave up. So that brings me that I'm to position 18 after this match, and so that's quite some internal pressure I make myself to play well for the last 2 rounds. So we will see how that goes. Thanks for watching and see you there. Bye!